Now, in the Appalachian Mountains, you're always going to hear the folklore, the legends of the feral people. Some say they're true and some say they're not. But there's always a possibility, especially in the most remote parts of the Appalachian Mountains. People just want to be left alone, and they're feral for a reason. Some people say they know them. But I'm going to tell you an eyewitness account that happened to two hikers that were hiking the Appalachian Trail. A man and his girlfriend were hiking to the Appalachian Mountains, and they were on a trail, and they decided that they didn't want to camp in a designated area, and they were going to camp where they wanted to. So they pretty much went off to a place that wasn't allowed to have camping, and they started their fire, set up their tent, ate a good dinner, hang around the campfire until he got tired, went in the tent, and went to sleep. Roughly around 3 a.m., the man woke up. He heard something outside of his tent, and it was stepping on sticks and moving leaves around, was crunching them. And he listened, and he's like, no, that's too heavy to be a deer. Those are too big of steps to be a critter. And then he listened a little harder as it got closer, and he started hearing somebody whispering. Two people or more were talking out in the wood line, but it was still sounding kind of close. So he thought that he was gonna grab his flashlight real slow. As he sat up in the tent, he slowly and quietly as he could unzipped the zipper. And he stuck his head out and he didn't see anything, and he listened again, and the whispering was coming from the wood line. So he got his flashlight ready and he hit it on real quick, and he shined it right on a tall man. And this man was said to have a long beard and long scruffy hair that looked unkempt, hadn't been brushed in a long time. And the man paused. It was a wild man looking, crazy look in his eyes, and he looked at that hiker, and the hiker looked at him, and the flashlight light. And the guy jumped, and he whispered something to somebody that might have been behind the tree next to him, and then took off running. And during the time that this happened, the hiker did yell at him, and it scared, I guess, the feral man, and the man took off running, like I said. Well, this scared the hiker plumb to death. And he got out of his tent, and he started putting wood on that fire. And he was stoking it, and he said he got that fire as bright as he could so he could see all around that wood line near him to make sure that nobody else was going to sneak in on him. So he stayed up all night long. The next morning, his girlfriend woke up, and she was like, what are you doing? Why are you out here so early? What happened to you? And he told her just enough to not scare her about what happened the night before. And they said, okay, they ate a good breakfast. They packed up, and they headed on down the trail. Nighttime was coming again, and they were way down the trail this time, and the man spotted a cliff face, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to set up on this cliff. That way, in case they return tonight, I can have no worries in the world about them coming in from behind us and getting us. All they can get us is from the front, so we're protected back there. So they did the same thing they did the night before. They set up their fire, they ate, they got tired, hung out, and went to bed. And guess what happened? Oh, it happened again. Talking started, and the crunching of the leaves and walking, and this time the man was tired of it, and he was fed up and scared, and he had his flashlight ready, and he unzipped that tent as fast as he could. He shined that light on, and when he did, there were 3 to 4 people standing there looking identical to the man that had been there before. And the hiker said as soon as that flashlight hit them, they scattered, and they were hiding behind trees, and the other ones ran off into the woods all wild-like. They were fast too. This time he said to hell with it. He woke up his woman and said, we're packing up camp and we're getting up out of these woods. So that's what they did. He woke her up, they packed up camp, and they headed towards a main road. And they said they hiked all night long. And they stayed on that main road until they get to a place to get back home. And to this day, that man swears that he will never hike the Appalachian Trail again. And these are coming from avid hikers, not just your person that wants to go walk a trail every once in a while. These are people that were hardy that did this all the time. Now, if you believe in feral people, I don't blame you. They could be out there. There's too much wilderness for them not to be. And some people just don't want to be found. Have you seen a feral person? Do you have your own feral person story? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, you know what to do. And don't forget to follow me for more paranormal stories.